This is actually the scary thing that nobody else has identified this, that the people who are in charge of the world, in charge of the Matrix, have found the most popular sport in the world, found a completely unrelated social issue which they're trying to enforce. They put them together, wrapped it up in tape, and have said, if you like football, you must also like homosexuality. Take both or take none. Imagine being a generic football fan, just a guy who likes football. You don't give a shit about any of these political statements, any of this garbage. And now all of a sudden you're, by just watching the football games and supporting football, you're on the side of mass, I don't even know who you are. What are they doing? Mass degeneracy? Like, it's insanity. Can't you just like football now? But I saw some English TV show. There was an English TV show. One of these guys, he's one of them football pundits. I don't know. It was BBC Two or something. And there's a full 3 minutes singing and dancing, just saying how important it is to have rainbow armbands. Why? I don't get it. Why can't people just play football? Why do they have to mix in this agenda with everything?
Yeah, I don't
It's like
understand.
the West has no culture besides that. It's the last piece of culture, the pride flag. And I don't give a shit if people are gay. I don't care. You can be as gay as you want. But why do you have to not? Why don't you go to another country and make sure that they understand how important it is that you believe that that's an important thing? Because it's absolutely not arrogant to believe that your worldviews are somehow shared by every other nation on earth. It's actually amazing that the West pretends to be moral and has any kind of moral high ground. If you look at the track records of the West, whether it's starting wars or look at some of the ideas the Matrix is purporting now.
I did say this yesterday.
Yeah, there's Matrix. I mean, the ideas that the Matrix is purporting now amongst the populations of the West are absolutely not utterly degenerate. They're not moral. You're going to sit there and say that, you know, it's okay to chop people's dicks off at the age of 8 and 9, and that's somehow good. And then you want to talk to others about morality. There's absolutely nothing moral about the West. The West is disgusting in many various forms, and for them to sit there and pretend that they know so much more than other countries is absolutely not disrespectful. By most metrics, Qatar as a country outperforms nearly every Western country.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's safer. They have families, lower divorce rate. They're doing something right. So for us to come along and say, no, they're doing everything wrong, they have to believe the way we think, is absolutely not arrogant. But this football thing, we can't just gloss over it. Because anyone at home who believes that those who are in charge of FIFA and in charge of the world and in charge of the Matrix, because football in and of itself is probably factually the number one most popular sport on the planet.
Yes.
It is a tool for the Matrix to entertain and keep you in the slave mind. They want you to be obsessed over the actions of other men, so do not take agency and do not focus on trying to do things yourselves. So I don't even watch football. Watching football in and of itself is asinine. I don't want to sit there and watch some dude run around with a ball and then my wife be wearing a jersey with some other man's name on it. No, sir. If I cared so much about football, I'd play football. That's what I would do. But considering it's such a massive entertainment tool, by extension making it a tool of the Matrix, them trying to attach it so desperately to an agenda which they're trying to enforce and force down the necks of every single person on the planet is not an accident. This has nothing to do with love. This has nothing to do with love. Nobody cares if a man and a man enjoy each other's company in private. Nobody cares. In fact, I would argue in most Middle Eastern countries, if a man and a man keep themselves to themselves and enjoy each other's company in public, in private, nothing bad will happen to them. You're just not allowed to run around in public and talk about it because they don't find it cohesive and conducive to their religious beliefs, which is fair. That is their prerogative. But the fact that they're trying to force this down to everybody's necks has nothing to do with love. This is just another psyop. It's the same reason that certain agendas are in every single movie, they're in schools, they're all over YouTube. It's part of the psyop. And now what they're doing is they're taking anything that is deemed even remotely masculine, like action superhero movies. They've taken them and they managed to warp that and mess that up. Now they've taken football. Anything that is remotely masculine on any level, they're going to try and corrupt. And by doing that, it's made it difficult to be a casual football fan. You're a casual football fan. I'm a football fan, and I like the World Cup. All of a sudden, you're torn into this whole argument about gender ideology and sexual orientation. You're just trying to watch a football game. And by extension, by watching the football game, by supporting these organizations like FIFA and supporting the Matrix with let me change it. Listen to this. The Matrix has taken football and is now using it as a vehicle to damage the morality of humanity. If you still watch football and support that mechanism, even if you don't support how that mechanism is being used, you are supporting the Matrix in their attacks against morality. It's unfortunate. You can no longer just be a casual football fan and say, well, I just watch football. I don't care about any of that stuff they're talking about. No, sir. Because by watching football, you are making sure the football leagues are funded. By watching football, you're making sure there's interest in the football league, which gives the football league power, and that power is now being used irresponsibly, and it's now being used under the name of degeneracy. So now you have to make a decision as a casual football fan. Do I want to be a casual football fan and help aid the Matrix in its agenda in damaging the morality of the human race? Or do I want to stop caring about football? So I implore any of you who still seem to give a shit, for some reason you are obsessed with the idea of a man putting a ball in a net. I implore you to absolutely not stop caring, because the sooner everyone stops watching this, the sooner it can be used as a tool of the Matrix to try and force degeneracy down our throats. It was men putting a ball in a net. What does this have to do with anything else? They're taking anything they can which is remotely popular and they are polluting it. Because it is largely watched, largely influencing the masses, they're taking it, they're trying to pollute the minds of the youth and the minds of the earth with it. You can no longer watch football with a clear conscience. I never gave a f in the first place. It's easy for me. I never gave a f about what other men are up to, putting other men in their balls. I never gave a f. But if you care, you better stop. Anyone I now see who considers himself a casual football fan, I know is genuinely aiding the destruction of humanity. The broader point is this. This goes on to the real world and why we had to move HU to the real world and change everything to our own servers, etc., etc. Anything that is large and influential, which is controlled by the Matrix, will eventually be weaponized against you. What does Morpheus say? Anybody who is not unplugged can become an agent at any time. You have football, traditionally a masculine sport. Because it is controlled by the Matrix, the money is controlled by the Matrix, the TV shows, the TV programs which show the games is controlled by the Matrix. Because it's still controlled by the Matrix, eventually they will take it and they will weaponize it against you. If I was a football fan, I'd be furious. Haven't you seen in real time how they've weaponized one of the last masculine pastimes of the Western world, and they're now using it to force an agenda that you don't care about? Most football fans don't care about this crap,
Nor
right?
should they.
Why would they? But they've got the players under contract, and the players pretend to give a shit because they're cucked, and the TV channels say, if you want our money to show your games, you better cuck, and everyone cucks out left, right, and center. Anything that is controlled by the Matrix will eventually be weaponized and used against you, which is why it's so important you have entities outside of the Matrix. They're the only ones that are safe. You can apply this to anything. Look at any large YouTuber. Any large YouTuber. You may have had a pure soul at the beginning. You may have had honest intentions at the beginning, but eventually when you become large enough on YouTube, the only way you stay on YouTube is to sell your soul and to cuck out and start saying shit you barely believe, reading from your phone like Logan Paul. Unless you sell your soul and become an agent of the Matrix, you are eventually going to be destroyed and removed. They do not want anything and anyone to have influence that they do not control. The most popular sport in the world, and took something completely unrelated, sex.
Male-to-male homosexual relations.
Nothing to do with the game in any way. Fucking put them together, put some duct tape around it and said swallow both or swallow none. Swallow being the key word. But this is actually the scary thing that nobody else is identifying. Is that the people who are in charge of the world, in charge of the Matrix, have found the most popular sport in the world, found a completely unrelated social issue which they're trying to enforce. They put them together, wrapped it up in tape, and have said, if you like football, you must also like homosexuality. Take both or take none. That is insane. It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah,
you're taking two unrelated things and putting them together and saying take both or take none. It's crazy, and football fans don't seem to notice. It's only football fans that should be protesting this, much more than anything else. Qatar and the BBC saying Qatar are bad. Bro, why are the UK saying Qatar are bad? It's literally criminal. But the fact that football fans don't stand up and say, no, we just want the World Cup to be held in different destinations around the world without politicizing it, without attaching this agenda. Why are the football fans not rioting? Unbelievable. If I was a football fan, which I'm not, I'd be furious, but I don't give a either way. I just see what's happening. I know how the Matrix works, and they found something popular and they're attaching an issue to it.